police officer ASP Clive Nsima Barije, who was caught on a CCTV camera slapping a cashier at a fuel station in Chanja, has been charged and remanded on charges of assault and malicious damage. Nsima slapped at Kunzire Pelan when she compelled him to pay 30,000 upon picking some items from the supermarket. Meanwhile, 2 people have been charged and remanded on charges of forging USCE UNEB exams at that. And Uganda's 2025 Uganda Certificate of Education exams officially began on October 10th with more than 432,000 candidates. That is 12% higher than last year, preparing under the new competency-based curriculum. The Ministry of Education has announced successful nationwide delivery of examination materials to all UNEB centers despite ongoing industrial action by arts teachers protesting delayed salary increments. Also, looking into another story, the Bishop of Nebi Diocese, Pons Ozele Awinjo, has appealed to the government and striking teachers to urgently resolve the ongoing industrial action, warning that the continued standoff threatens the future of learners. The bishop was commissioning a state-of-the-art center for research and academic excellence at SAGRAS School in Lira City. And finally, into the updates, the battle for Bukedea District Woman Member of Parliament seat is taking a dramatic turn, with FDC's Norma Susan Otai accusing the Electoral Commission of colliding with Speaker of Parliament Anita Among to block her candidacy. Otai claims her name was deliberately deleted from the voters' register to pave the way for the Speaker to run unopposed. That's some of the updates we have making rounds on the local scene. But of course, I'm not alone. Robert will be giving us a detail right after he says good morning to us. Good morning, Robert.
Lovely morning to you, Julie, and our viewer. Thank you very much for waking up with us this morning. So much is happening in the country. Candidates of Senior 4 began their exams yesterday. There is one who was reported dead before starting the paper. We pray and console with the family at such a very disturbing moment. But also ASP Clive Nsima, who was charged with assault and malicious damage of property. Now, though his lawyers say they reached a reconciliation stage with the victim, he was remanded until October 16th. So he's going to be behind the coolers until then. But also regarding his career, you know, what does this mean in terms of promotion in police?
You know, I watched the news where it was said that he had other cases that he was dealing with just before this one. And I wondered, why was he still serving? Is it by law that a police officer should still serve even when there's still there are many cases, accusations already reported to police? I wouldn't want to understand how the law works.
You see, our laws are very clear that unless proved guilty by a competent court, you can have cases, and sometimes when such things happen to you, there are many who will come up with cases, but when they have not reported. Now the difference with this case, even if this man slapped that lady, the attendant of a supermarket, and she didn't take an extra mile as far as reporting to police, giving evidence. You know, sometimes when people in uniform commit these offenses, we talk about them, but we don't go down the road of justice, the road of justice. So police cannot just work, the police leadership, neither the courts of law cannot come out of the blue and say now this and this happened. So that's why, and I've noticed, even if I committed an offense today, many will say, but he has been having already cases. So unless we can have their references that he was reported to police before, this is the reference on assault, this is the reference on theft, this is the reference, but it is very common in my time, I've noticed that people always say, he has been having so many cases, he has been having so many cases. But when they did not go ahead, I remember there is would I call her a VIP? But she's not a VIP. Recently she had a case. A case was committed against her, allegedly by some politician. They're both in NRM. Now people kept on saying, but you see that very person has, the victim in this particular case, has so many cases at police. But when you reached police to find out if she really did have these cases, you'll find that either someone came and reported and never returned.
Right.
You find that some were just merely alleging, but they didn't go down the due process. But I think this is a lesson for men. First and foremost, most of the times when men are not with their housewives, okay, let me use the word wives, not housewives. Wives, you know, in these days there is a term, muchala wo weka. Do you know what it means?
Well, I know the Bible defines a wife.
Now.
And that's it.
Okay, so
yes.
When you hear people talking, si muchala wo weka, that means there's some extra somewhere.
Right.
Now, most of the times, these extras cause problems. People go out of their way to please, to show how they are men enough. So, unfaithfulness, the devil, there's nothing he gives. He will always come and pick. And he can pick in a bad way.
Indeed. Anyways, thank you, Robert, for that update. On that note, let's have a look at what we have on the local scene. Now,
we'll begin with the NRM candidate. That is President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Still continues with his vote hunting in West Nile sub-region. And yesterday, he held a mega rally in Madi-Okolo district and Arua city. In Madi-Okolo, Museveni, alongside the First Lady Janet Museveni, addressed a rally at Ajay Sports Stadium. Museveni said if he is voted, he will construct Wanseko, Panyiru, and Pakwach Rhino Camp, Obong, and Dufule Road that links Madi-Okolo to the neighboring West Nile districts as a means to facilitate business. He also pledged to construct primary schools in the parishes and secondary schools in the sub-counties that lack secondary schools. Museveni also pledged to upgrade Rhino Camp Health Center 4 into a district hospital and all the lower health facilities to the next level. President Museveni, a champion of wealth creation, encouraged Madi-Okolo people to use the wealth creation program like PDM for their social and economic empowerment. President Museveni was in the company of the First Lady and top government officials who all urged the Madi-Okolo residents to vote for their party flag bearer, President Museveni. The leaders welcomed pledges saying the issues like such lack of district hospitals or poor road network and slow uptake of wealth creation initiatives have posed a great challenge. The NRM presidential candidate will today campaign in Maracha and Koboko districts, still in the West Nile region. Senior 4 candidates across the country started their final UNEB exams amidst the ongoing arts teachers' strike. In Bududa district, 304 candidates sat their first paper at Buleche Secondary School. One candidate passed away before the start of the exams. Some of the candidates said the geography paper was fair and they hope for the best. Sam Namali, deputy head teacher in charge of academics at Buleche Secondary School, said the strike hasn't disrupted their school, praising teachers for paying PTA allowances, which has kept the arts teachers in class. At Butiba Seed Secondary School, the head teacher, Tishonyi Betty, said the strike has taken a toll on learners due to low teacher morale. She urged government to enhance arts teachers' salaries to boost their motivation. At Hamudani Secondary School, both teachers and students expressed optimism for good performance. Police have called upon presidential candidates to be cognizant of the commencement of Senior 4 exams and coordinate with security teams to minimize interruptions. The call targets those conducting processions and those using school playgrounds as venues for their rallies. As the presidential campaigns enter a third week, police called upon candidates to minimize processions and noise in respect for the senior 4 exams which commenced yesterday. Those already earmarked school playgrounds as their venues are advised to seek guidance from security teams in respective jurisdictions. Police confirms positive working relationship with organizing committees of different presidential candidates, which has minimized confrontation. Meanwhile, police have yet taken action against officers campaigning for different candidates, as investigations are not yet yielded any formidable information. Meanwhile, investigations are underway on the assault case of ASP Nisima Clive. It is alleged that the victim who was assaulted by Nisima forgave him, though police have not confirmed this, and according to police, once the victim confirms the pardoning, the force will drop the disciplinary action. Now, with those stories, we come to the end of our local stories this morning. Let Judy take us through what happened the rest of the world.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Robert. And looking at what we have on the global scene, of course, Trump is trending. And somebody did put up a post on X that reads, President Trump has now ended conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia, Israel and Iran, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, India and Pakistan, Serbia and Kosovo, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, Israel and Hamas. Trump is the peacemaker president. Now,
eyeing the Global Peace Award.
Well, indeed, indeed. But looking at what stories we do have, crowds cheered on in Hostages Square as they watched U.S. President Donald Trump landing at Ben Gurion Airport on Monday. It came as the Gaza peace plan continued to take effect with the release of hostages and later Palestinian prisoners. The 20 living hostages are set to be handed over by Hamas to the Red Cross on Monday before transfer to Reim military base in Israel. That means that chances are this has already taken place, and 7 were in Israel at the time of publication of this particular story. Now, the bodies of 28 deceased hostages will also be returned later, while around 1,700 Palestinians detained in Gaza since October 2023 and 250 more serving life sentences will be freed under the deal. Trump is in Israel to address Knesset, and meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the families of hostages on Monday. These events actually took place yesterday, and indeed he already flew to Egypt for the official signing of the peace deal, and the first phase of the deal agreed by Israel and Hamas last week includes the ceasefire, the swapping of hostages and prisoners, and the Israeli military withdrawal to the Yellow Line in Gaza. Subsequent phases will include the governance of Gaza, the future of Hamas, and the reconstruction of the enclave. Now, moving on, NATO chief Mark Rutte joked about the condition of Russia's naval fleet as Moscow denied one of its submarines had to surface because of technical problems. Russia's Black Sea Fleet said the diesel-powered submarine Novorossiysk had surfaced off France to comply with navigation rules in the English Channel, through which it was shadowed by a UK warship and helicopter. Dutch authorities had said on Saturday that the submarine was under tow in the North Sea. Quote unquote, what a change from the 1984 Tom Clancy novel, The Hunt for Red October. Today it seems more like the hunt for the nearest mechanic. Rutte said in a speech in Slovenia, saying the broken vessel was limping home. Rutte said there was hardly any Russian naval presence in the Mediterranean left, and VCHK OGPU, a Telegram channel that publishes purported Russian security leaks, reported on 27th September that fuel was leaking into the hold of the Novorossiysk in the Strait of Gibraltar, raising the risk of an explosion as it was returning from its deployment in the Mediterranean. The Royal Navy said it tracked the vessel over 3 days from 7th to 9th October. Now let's look at what we have on the continent. Dozens of supporters of opposition candidate Chiroma Bakary clashed with police on Monday in the northern Cameroonian city of Garoua as tensions rose over the presidential election results. Footage shows Bakary's supporters gathering in the streets, chanting and waving flags as police units regroup nearby. Officers are later seen firing tear gas to disperse the crowds, while protesters hurled stones at police vehicles, escalating the confrontation. Chiroma Bakary, who served as employment minister until June 2025, has emerged as one of the main challengers to the incumbent president, Paul Biya, who's 92, the world's oldest serving head of state. Biya has been in power since 1982, announced in July that he would seek an unprecedented 8th term, claiming he was responding to numerous and insistent calls to remain in office. Bakary, aged 79, once a close ally of Biya, resigned from government earlier this year to join the opposition, running on a platform promising to end Biya's decades-long rule and address economic stagnation and corruption. Now, according to Elections Cameroon, that is ELECAM, more than 8 million registered voters cast ballots in the elections, whose outcome will be decided by simple majority with no runoff required.
And guess what? I was following the counting there, and Biya seemed to be leading. Seriously. But
very
remember,
interesting.
by the end of, their term of office is 7 years.
Right.
Not 5 like ours now. By the time Biya finishes, if at all he emerges as the winner this term, he will be 99 years.
Wow, indeed the world.
Because he's 92 now plus 7,
president.
he'll be 99 years. He's been there since 1982. And it seems, unless otherwise, but I was following closely, it seems he was in the lead.
Right.
Now we'll wait and see if history is going to be made again.
Indeed. Now let's quickly take a look at what we have in the dailies today.
Now beginning with a new vision, cultural leaders, clerics to benefit from new program. Now government plans fund for graduates. You graduate, there's a fund where you can get some money, Judy.
Interesting.
Now, new era, China National Day Special. Our development partners there. And we have education, UEC, candidates miss papers, 2 remanded. Then crime, police officer remanded for slapping woman. We talked about that. Now also candidates comb countryside for votes. And iPod Cash, Nope gets new conditions. Evil money, eh? Taxpayers' money. They once said that was taxpayers' money and not good money, but now the iPod issue is becoming an issue. Now iPod gets Snoop exactly where it wants it to be. That is according to the Daily Monitor. iPod gets Snoop exactly where it wants it to be. Now, the pain of missing final exams. I see tears rolling down a young girl. The people they trusted ended up with their future, ended up betraying them. You can see the pain. The picture tells it all. Now, double happiness for 63-year-old woman after getting twins. 63 years. Is the Bible, are we seeing Sarah here now in Uganda?
Perhaps technology.
Technology?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought miracles. Now, peace at last as Israel hostages swapped for Palestinian detainees. Still in the Daily Monitor. Well, these and more, you can get yourself a copy of the dailies this morning, but Julie will take us to the rest of the world and we see what the papers in Tanzania and Kenya have for us.
Well, the paper that we have is from Kenya, and the headline there is State House Scare. That is the deadline. And quickly sculling through other stories in there, how Gachagua party growing influence has stirred Mount Kenya, and 4,000 workers challenge sacking by sugar firms. Also, MP's think tank warns against higher taxes. Those are some of the stories in the Daily Nation from Kenya. Just make sure that you grab a copy of any of the dailies for yourself and get to read the detail. For now, let's have a short break. When we get back, we are looking at how day one was of the UCE exams. Good morning.
Intimacy.
Honesty.
Good morning. It's a Tuesday, and what a good day to be alive if you've woken up and you're breathing and you're able to just see whatever is going on around you, or even watch your screen right now as you watch UBC TV. Thank God that you are alive. It's a gift that we take for granted, yet for every second that you get to smell the world and just experience it in every detail, it's a testimony in itself that you are alive. I am grateful this morning, and I'm encouraging you to be grateful. Good morning, Uganda. This is UBC TV that you are watching, and the show is Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nentaba, and looking at a few of the updates that made rounds in Uganda. A police officer, ASP Clive Nsima Barije, who was caught on a CCTV camera slapping a cashier at a fuel station in Chanja, has been charged and remanded on charges of assault and malicious damage. Nsima slapped at Kunzire Pelan when she compelled him to pay 30,000 upon picking some items from the supermarket. Meanwhile, 2 people have been charged and remanded on charges of forging USCE UNEB exams at that. And Uganda's 2025 Uganda Certificate of Education exams officially began on October 10th with more than 432,000 candidates. That is 12% higher than last year, preparing under the new competency-based curriculum. The Ministry of Education has announced successful nationwide delivery of examination materials to all UNEB centers despite ongoing industrial action by arts teachers protesting delayed salary increments. Also, looking into another story, the Bishop of Nebi Diocese, Pons Ozele Awinjo, has appealed to the government and striking teachers to urgently resolve the ongoing industrial action, warning that the continued standoff threatens the future of learners. The bishop was commissioning a state-of-the-art center for research and academic excellence at SAGRAS School in Lira City. And finally, into the updates, the battle for Bukedea District Woman Member of Parliament seat is taking a dramatic turn, with FDC's Norma Susan Otai accusing the Electoral Commission of colliding with Speaker of Parliament Anita Among to block her candidacy. Otai claims her name was deliberately deleted from the voters' register to pave the way for the Speaker to run unopposed. That's some of the updates we have making rounds on the local scene. But of course, I'm not alone. Robert will be giving us a detail right after he says good morning to us. Good morning, Robert.
Lovely morning to you, Julie, and our viewer. Thank you very much for waking up with us this morning. So much is happening in the country. Candidates of Senior 4 began their exams yesterday. There is one who was reported dead before starting the paper. We pray and console with the family at such a very disturbing moment. But also ASP Clive Nsima, who was charged with assault and malicious damage of property. Now, though his lawyers say they reached a reconciliation stage with the victim, he was remanded until October 16th. So he's going to be behind the coolers until then. But also regarding his career, you know, what does this mean in terms of promotion in police?
You know, I watched the news where it was said that he had other cases that he was dealing with just before this one. And I wondered, why was he still serving? Is it by law that a police officer should still serve even when there's still, there are many cases, accusations already reported to police? I wouldn't want to understand how the law works.
You see, our laws are very clear that unless proved guilty by a competent court, you can have cases, and sometimes when such things happen to you, there are many who will come up with cases, but when they have not reported. Now the difference with this case, even if this man slapped that lady, the attendant of a supermarket, and she didn't take an extra mile as far as reporting to police, giving evidence, you know, some...
And voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth, in the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning. It's Good Morning Uganda on UBC TV. Time for the real, and it's that time we still look into the UCE exams. Yesterday was day 2, as day 1 was Friday. With the briefing, day 2 was the exams themselves, as students started off with papers in examination rooms as they were being invigilated, and this was amidst the strike of the arts teachers, of course, whom we had yesterday, and insisted that indeed this would not be called off until the government listened to them and had amicable, honest ways of dealing with their issue as regards to salary disparities. But for now, let's focus on what is happening, and that is the students who have started their UCE exams. Now, of course, day 1 is one of those days that everyone is looking forward to, and looking forward to in different events happening, the success of the start of the process, but also looking at a few cases here and there. Some students missed out on starting their exam process of the year 2025. That means they'll have to wait the following year to sit for their S4 exams. Different reasons here and there, but be reminded that this year's theme for this year's exams is embracing security and holistic assessment of learners in a dynamic environment. And a total of 432,159 candidates were registered this year for UCE exams, comprising of 52.7% female and 47.3% male students at that have been registered. Now, in just a few minutes or a second, we're looking forward to having a conversation with the UNEB Principal Public Relations Officer, Jennifer Kalule, who will be speaking to us as to how day 1 went for UNEB as the authority that oversees this whole process. But be a part of the conversation, 0709602592. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono. Robert, in your perspective, with what is around you, do you know of any candidates that sat for exams yesterday?
No, I don't know of any. And when you talk of knowing, not just saying that child of my neighbor goes to school. I mean knowing as in which school they are in, how they have been performing, or a relative this time around. No, I don't have any.
Okay.
That's set for these senior 4 exams. But 2 things came out. First, we had candidates who missed exams. That is one. And how did they miss exams? Not because they were sick, they were unable to come to the centers, but someone took off with their money. Like in Mitiana, Semakula Henry, a director of a school, disappeared with money of about 77 students, and they missed their exams. Now, we also have those that were arrested trying to find ways of rigging or examination malpractices.
Right.
So the usual uncertainties still surfaced even this year round.
Right. Now, over the phone, we do have Jennifer Kalule, who is the UNEB Principal Public Relations Officer at, indeed, UNEB. And she is here to speak with us in regards to what day 1 looked like, especially for them as the authority that oversees this whole process. Good morning, Madam Jennifer.
Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Uganda.
Right. Thank you so much for sparing some time. I know it's a very busy season for you, but it's always a pleasure having you on board to speak with us. How was day 1?
Day 1 was lots of anxiety, but at the end of it all, it was well. We really want to thank the Lord. It went on well, extremely well, really. We are not completely also on anxiety, especially with the teachers. We are not so sure if they will turn up on it. We have had a series of engagements with them over the last 2 weeks or so, briefing them, and then the principal, of course, has called upon them to try and not connect with that, to try to the function of Sunday. I thought they've been teaching them, but we not take them for granted. However, we are very grateful that at all our centers, we did not even have an absentee invigilator or absentee scout. So we want to thank the teachers out there for really standing in there and being there for us and for the children. They really showed a high level of professionalism, a positive gesture, and much as we also appreciate their concerns, but they were also there for us and they did appreciate our concerns as well. So we are very grateful. And for the learners, it also went on well, except of course for the few unfortunate incidents where we got to know that the school in Nachifuma did not register its mandate. I was told there was another one in Mitiana. I'm yet to get a detail. That is quite unfortunate. And just before I came on air, I was talking to a senior legal officer that we are actually going to take action against these teachers because it's really unfortunate for this. You know, it's kind of, it's really unfortunate. It's very bad for these learners. And the serious challenge is with the national examinations, they are time bound.
Yes.
You either do it then or you don't. So by the time we got to know about this situation in Nachifuma, it was a late Sunday evening. And the center school doesn't have a center number. And there are lots of things that have got through the behind the scenes, the procedure to registering the candidate. And in this particular case, for these learners of the new curriculum, we need to ensure they have the scores for continuous assessment. Now, for this school, they don't have a center number. There was no way we could know if they had even the squad for continuous assessment. Of course, the teachers were on the run. The head teacher was on the run. There was no way we could connect with anybody. It was really a very, very bad situation even for us. It's very unfortunate.
All right.
But we could not do much at that moment.
All right. I will still ask, now that you mentioned the incident in Nachifuma, you know, some of the complaints that parents had was the fact that they paid their money and received supposed receipts from these schools. How is it that their children are not sitting for exams? What are those things parents are supposed to take note of beyond just paying the money and receiving a paper of a receipt for having paid a UNEB fee?
Thank you so much for that question. Indeed, it gets back now to the involvement of the parents in the learning and assessment of their children. We UNEB give 60 days of display of the registers of the candidates at the schools, and we need to have an estimate option, and we informed all of them. And so then please make sure, first and foremost, as a parent, make sure you get the index number of your child. That is the key in. After getting the receipt, ask when can I get the index number? People, end of term comes, ask for the index number of the child. And now, because according to the Act, the NET Act, we are obliged to display the registers of candidates 60 days before the examinations begin. And we did display the registers from the 8th of August until the 10th. I think from the 10th of August until the 10th of October, on the day of briefing of the candidate. And anybody who came up during that time, we did handle it. There are so many cases of people who are being left out from registration for some reason or the other. So as a parent, please do not wait until the final day when exams are beginning to confirm. Please either get the index number of your child, punch into 6600 and get confirmation from your name if your child is registered or not. If they are not registered, then go back to school. Find out why the right child registered. The school not even get enough answers, then get to your name. We have been able to, actually up to Saturday, the 11th of October, we did register candidates who came up to us in good time. Nachifuma, unfortunately, they got to us then towards late. I received a call from a journalist on Friday at 1 p.m. I was in church at 28 hours. So until I knew that by the time I got to the office, everybody had left. I had no way of linking up. By the time I was able to link up with the director that was in link, and now we try to find out details that the school have a center number. We worked around this issue by around until midnight of Sunday, trying to see if we could help them in any way.
Right.
But it kind of could not work out because it was too late. So now I want to appeal to parents with candidates, ELD candidates and ESE candidates. You two have some time. Please, can you confirm that your child is registered? You don't want to get to the point of getting to the last minute and all of that are helpless. It's not good for all of us.
Right, and before I allow Robert, just help me answer this, still in line with what exactly you've just mentioned. Do you think there is sensitization, effective sensitization of parents? Because whilst parents in urban centers could understand this information, I'm imagining a grandparent deep in the village, probably an Nachifuma type, but in the deepest of the ends of the world, who also has a candidate but cannot comprehend this information as it's given by UNEB, is there effective sensitization prior to UNEB registration by the parents?
Registration, I think they get to know about registration. That's why they actually go they make the payment. But we use the same method of communication that we use. But like you say, yes, we are going to up again in that area.
All right. Thank you very much. Jennifer Kalule Musamba is the Principal Public Relations Officer at UNEB, and she's speaking with us. We are looking at day one of the UCE exams that started on Friday, the 10th of October, and are ongoing. Writing of papers started yesterday. And of course, things keep on arising. That's why we need to follow up on them as they keep on arising. Now, let me hand you over to Robert. I believe he has quite a lot to ask as well.
Yes, Madam Jennifer.
Yes, Robert, good morning.
Good morning to you. Now, over a time, I've come to discover that a number of issues where we have candidates miss their exams because of issues regarding not being registered or someone moving away with their money. These come from schools without UNEB centers. Most of the cases, you can check the history, from schools without UNEB centers whose students are registered, allegedly registered at a center. As UNEB, what are you doing about this issue? Candidates are being taught in a school that doesn't have a center, and they are promised that they will sit in another school that has a center. Yet at the end of the day, it's very easy for their monies to be fleeced or someone to run away with the money. Why would a school have candidates and not have a center?
Yes, thank you so much, Robert. This is a policy issue. And first of all, as UNEB, we cannot, this school, the fact that this school is in existence, it means being authorized by the Ministry of Education. So in most cases, some of these schools are either in transition or they are trying to acquire the license for the Ministry of Education or making their stuff together. So by the time you register with us, you must have a fully fledged license to the Ministry of Education. So we find that some of our schools, yes, they're in operation, but maybe they are trying to fulfill all the requirements for acquiring a license from the Ministry of Education. And UNEB can only give you a license, that's the major requirement. You must be having a license from the Ministry of Education. But there are also other requirements because we cannot just, we cannot entrust our examinations with anybody. You must have the requirements for having a unique center number. But even if you do not have, and that is why we always ask them, and we do it officially, just identify the school within all in every locality. There's a school which has a unique center number, work with them, inform us, and then we work it out. Where they do it so well, there's no problem really. So I don't think the issue is really so much. Yeah, the center number is critical, fine, but we can still work with neighbors. But of course, the parents themselves, they easily get, because if we get with me, it's not like this school in Nachikoma. They were telling them we registered you at Modern. So the parents on Sunday, they get to Modern so where their candidates are going to sit from, and they realize that the school, and the Modern is telling them, we don't know you, I don't know about your children. I think there were 18, and out of the 18, they only registered 3 of them. So it's quite unfortunate. So what and then we have to stop parents from going to those schools because maybe it is the only available school in their locality, or maybe there's an issue also of affordability. So maybe what I'm want to appeal to parents to kindly, there are new schools within your community. If you can access one, because the government pays for their registration and they are really very authentic, they do their work so well. We do not have that issue in the government-owned schools. So where you are not so sure, finally get a youth school, get a government-owned school. You are safer that way.
Now also let's look at issues of malpractices. I'm aware about 2 people were arrested. Do you have information to this and what exactly transpired?
So to the 2 people who were arrested, I don't have much to that. What I know is that they were much forcing. One of the persons, he had this is a hardcore criminal. He she was alleging that he had unique papers. She also had for, he had unique, I think, transcript or something like that. Yeah, I think there's a machine which prints the fake transcripts or fake results. And it also had stamps of different organizations. I mean, it was a multiple, this is a hard thing. It wasn't just about Jamaica, it was about other institutions. As in, it seemed to be offering fake academic documents across board. That was really that's a very critical one. I don't want to discuss because it's still going on. And then his counterpart, of course, they are all trading in fake information papers. But the case is going on. And at the same time, we are also going to be following up with the teachers who misappropriated the money of the students. And according to the Act 259, misappropriation of such funds can lead you to paying a fine of 20 million shillings or being committed in jail for 5 years. We are going to work hand in hand with police to make sure that these people are brought to book.
What is the fate of these students who actually have missed exams, but it's not because their parents didn't have the money? Are we going to see history made again where UNEP can come up with another set? Because this has ever happened.
I think the circumstances were really different. In this case, really, I cannot speak to it, to that, but as far as I know, as of now, we do not have that kind of option because, you see, the parents have done, there's more than just paying school fees and the registration fee. That's what we've been saying. We need to follow up and make sure. It's quite unfortunate, but because we still already missed day one. And as of day two, as far as I know, no effort has been put in to make sure that maybe they get registered with something because we got that one in the mud. So right now, I can't promise anything. What I can promise is that when they repeat the following year, they will have the scores for continuous assessment and the scores for projects. If they hit them, they will have to maintain those ones so they get up to repeat in year 4. That is if they have the scores for continuous assessment. The challenge is not even have anybody to talk to fill out with any information. Like a teacher to tell us, you submit the scores for continuous assessment, why you submit them. And clearly it means they did not submit them because as a requirement for registration, you had to have those scores for continuous assessment. So in case they had them, they should have submitted them. And you see, we begin collecting these scores at senior 3 level. So by senior 3, we have your record very clear. Now for these ones, we don't even have any record for them. So trying to put things together was really very complicated. That's why we actually got that. And I want to appeal to our dear teachers. Finally, when we teach these learners, let's take care of them. We are just custodians who are trying to make sure that we help these children get to their destiny. If you're supposed to do your work, you should be supposed to submit scores for continuous assessment. Please do submit. Because even schools that do not have center numbers, they have an avenue for submitting those scores on our portal. If you cannot do it yourself, please come to the board. We have a fully fledged call center where we have people helping the schools to do that. So kindly do not let your learners get into this kind of trouble.
Right, thank you very much, Madam Jennifer Kalule Musamba. There are some comments coming in for you. And the first one is, good morning, Julie and Robert. It's Isaac Wanzala Wazaks Aizo in West Nile. And he asks, does it mean that the teachers' industrial action has zero or minimal negative impact to the learners and the performance of the candidates in their final exams? It seems everything will be successful with or without arts teachers according how the S4 candidates were prepared. What would you say to that, Madam Jennifer?
Well, of course there is an impact because the learners, they get the learners, they need that interface with their teachers for as much time as possible. However, one thing about the learners of the new curriculum is one of the things we found out, one of the characteristics is that they are very self-driven, they are research-oriented, and honestly, put them in a forest, they will survive. So these learners, the beauty about this is that by the time the strike took off, I think most of them were done with the syllabus, and were just about to complete and finalize the revision and stuff like that. So I think yes, it may affect them in a way or in one way or the other. So they need trying to revise with the teachers, get guidance from them. But we want to believe that yes, they must have had enough time to complete the syllabus, and now we're doing research on their own. And on a one-on-one basis, by the way, these teachers, because they are human, when you guys are getting up, we're getting up to them. They will reach out to them and help them assist in one way or the other. Just if they've agreed to join us to supervise the examinations, I'm sure the impact may be there, but maybe not so much.
All right. And another one from a viewer, Kimaleni Michael, who's watching us from Bududa, says, please let UNEP give us the code to dial to the parents to confirm whether our learners are registered or not, other than relying on schools just, yet we have paid registration fee. Over to you, Madam Delpha.
Yes, this one, unfortunately, the time for doing that ended on the 10th of October. Maybe, I don't know if I will ask, can they extend it? But otherwise, now that you're out, or now that you are because initially what happens is that you have to have the full index number of the candidate, and then you go to REG, R-E-G, short of registration, leave space, put the full index number of the candidate, and then send to 6600. However, now this option has been closed because the deadline was the 10th of October. I don't know if I will ask and see if they can extend, but even if you can't do that, you can always get to your neck, call us, and then we can be able to confirm. Just make sure you have the full index number of your child, and then we can be able to help you to confirm if your child is registered or not. Our toll-free lines are 0800 211 077. That is 0800 211 077 or 0800 111 427. You can call, and then you can, with the index number of the child, and you can be guided and you get confirmation if your child is registered or not.
All right, as we begin to bring this conversation to a close, this month, October, in fact, 10th October in particular, the date, but the whole month really is an awareness month. It's a month for mental health awareness. Now, looking at the incident in the examples of Nachifuma, I'm not so sure how these students, young as they are and their young minds are wrapping it around them, that they are not sitting for their S4 exams, excited as they might have been until next year. So is there a plan, any form of plan that UNEB has in store to treat or help these students cope with the, I don't know, PTSD or trauma post-incident cases such as this, to help them mentally cope as they look forward to registering next year?
Well, that is not something that I know I can talk to right now, but what we always say is that this is a joint responsibility. The teaching and learning of these learners and the assessment is a joint responsibility. So I would like to call upon stakeholders to try and help us take up their own responsibility. Let's do this together. While we're doing this assessment or what, I cannot commit that we are going to do this kind of thing. But being a joint responsibility, I believe we can be able to get a partner out there to see how we can help these learners so they don't lose it all. For us, we promise to do our best to ensure that they're actually going to sit the examinations next time. We are going to work along with them and ensure that they get we're going to help the learners actually. Police are ready following up this case, and we want to get as much information as possible. Right now, we can't get much because there's even nobody at the school. When we work in touch with a few parents here and there, and the police officers are following up the case.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Jennifer Kalule Musamba, and for your time this morning. Wishing you well on day 2 and the rest of the process.
We wish that I attended all the best this morning as they go to do their physics data.
All right. All right, thank you very much. That is Jennifer Kalule Musamba. She is the Principal Public Relations Officer at UNEB, and she's been speaking with us regarding day 1 of UCE exams that, which ideally should be day 2, but writing the papers is day 1 of UCE exams that started yesterday and are ongoing. To every candidate, we wish you the very best. To those that are not sitting, the likes of Nachifuma, indeed, we grieve with you on this, but also pray with you. And as the motto of Uganda is for God and my country, that is God is the God of this nation and is your God. You can confide in him, and trust me, you'll go through it, and by next year it will be over. You will be a candidate and you'll have passed with flying colors at that. For now, that's it from The Real. Robert and I take a short break as you enjoy GMU Tourism Express. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here, in the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking, to the taste of food that takes you on a journey, in the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth, in the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Mata Dadang, Mata Uganda, Mata Ikarimajong. We are in Nakapiripiti for the Karamoja Cultural Festival. It's a lot of color, a lot of cultures, a lot is happening here. It's just beauty. Talking about culture, you must be wondering what I'm actually carrying. This is a seat, which also operates as a pillow in the Karimajong culture. I was surprised because you'll find one smaller than this, and men will sit on it. Ladies don't sit on this, it's the men that sit on this. So there's a variety of tribes here. Talking about the Bokora, Mathaniko, you talk about the Pian where we are now, and those are known to be the most hospital in the Karimaja community. You talk about the Ik, talk about the Pokot, oh my God, and that is why you find the black milk. Let me not spoil for you, we are here for it, and we shall be bringing you all the information that you need to know about Karamoja. Most of you have known this land to be, you know, very scary. When you tell anyone you're coming to Karamoja, they're really scared. But guess what? We're here happy, looking so beautiful in their culture outfit, and indeed they are hospitable. It's shining, there are mountains, it's not a desert. Stick around to see what's in Karamoja.
My name is Arthur Ramafa, the Senior Marketing Officer at Uganda Tourism Board. I'm here to tell all Ugandans that the Karamoja Cultural Festival is on. And as Uganda Tourism Board, we stand with the Karamoja people at this Karamoja Cultural Festival to celebrate the unique traditions, the dance, the music, the culture, the heritage. We invite all Ugandans to be part of this festival and explore what is unique about Karamoja, their food, their heritage. We as Uganda Tourism Board, we are part of this celebration to just show the world that please come and explore the uniqueness of the Karamoja people, the diversity, the heritage. This program is going to showcase what is truly, truly unique about Uganda Tourism Board and Uganda at large, and we call all of you to be part of this festival. On the last day, tomorrow we're going to have a game drive in Pian-Upe, and we want to thank Uganda Wildlife Authority for opening up this park for the next 3 days. And we want to call all the people in Karamoja to go out there and be part of this open park day in Pian-Upe. And on the last day, we expect to see the Vice President of Uganda closing this festival. Our management as Uganda Tourism Board, our CEO, our Deputy CEO, our management and staff are all going to be part of this festival. We look forward to showcasing our unique traditions and products. And tomorrow, our Deputy CEO will be making a presence here at the Karamoja Cultural Festival. See you all. Thank you.
We have a few people who come to Karamoja, like the non-Karamojongs. When they come to Karamoja, when they have even no business, the business booms. But they sell a bad name of the Karamojong so that those other people don't come and cause problems. Karamoja is too welcoming. For us, we don't say you don't call us so that we include the program. Every time the Karamojong or there is a good gathering, everybody is welcome. The Karamojongs are welcoming people. And if somebody could come and have a test, I think he will appreciate. And those ones who have appreciated are those ones who are talking hill of Karamoja, especially those ones within and getting something good in Karamoja. They don't want others to come and test the fruits of Karamoja. Especially, we have our Karamojong here, even the people themselves are too bright. They are too original. Of course, if they can reach to levels, you can imagine, they can be able to do something, especially in terms of education. So we want everybody to come and reach Karamoja and see by themselves the goodness of it.
Yes, welcome Ugandans. This is Karamoja Festival, where the Karamojongs, the Pokots, the what, we're all welcome to this festival. Here we celebrate our cultures, our heritage, our familism. As you can see, there are different cultures here, hats, what, Nakatukos in particular. This represents us, you know. In Karamoja, there's a lot to see. There's a lot to be amazed about. The mountains, the people. In fact, the game parks, there is Kidepo Game Park, there are game reserves, you get to see the animals, the wildlife. Don't fear us. Karamojongs, we are not tough people, we are kind. If you get to know us, you know, we'll give you food, we'll show you the best time. This Karamojong Festival has brought unity. It has happened for like 6 years now. Every year we have it. Other Karamojongs come together for this festival to show our culture, to show our hospitality to other visitors, tourists. Whoever wants to come can come. It's available for everyone. Come enjoy, see the people, communicate. We have music, we have what. Be happy to be among the people of Uganda. We are the Karamojongs, do not fear us. We are happy people. We are jolly people. Don't fear us. Thank you for having us.
My name is Lomo Bettina. I'm a student at Gulu University. I'm in my third year. I'm a Karamojong by tribe, and I'm from Nakapiprit district. Yeah, I am here to celebrate the Karamoja cultural event, which brings over 9 districts of Karamoja. That is Amudat, Kabong, Habim, Nakapiprit, Kotido, Moroto, among others. Karamoja is a big region, and it comes together in this event once in a year to celebrate the peace that Karamoja has got over years for now, and also they come together to share the traditional food, the traditional dances, and on top of that, they also do some bit of trade exhibition. As you can see people around, it's really a beautiful thing, and people have traveled all over the world from different parts of the country to come and join Karamoja. It's a beautiful culture, the dressing alone, and the food that people are going to be eating. It's just going to be a mega event. I welcome each and everyone to attend this, and even the students from different universities are coming to attend. Yes, I'm a Karamojong, and I'm a Pian. Yes, I'm a Pian because Karamoja has got different, let me say different Kalishas. They are Pian, they are GA, they are Pokots, and so on. So for me, I'm a Pian from Nakapiprit district. What is unique about the Pian is that one, we are people from southern Karamoja, and obviously we grow sorghum, and our staple food is of course sorghum, and they are also pastoralists. As you know, there is nothing much unique about it, but just that Karamoja generally is a semi-desert place, and we grow sorghum as a staple food. Yes, and they are pastoralists in general.
Happening today is day one, where everyone is coming in. Of course, people, Uganda tourism bodies here, Uganda Wildlife Authority, but most importantly, I got to see a number of the GA coming in, and these were actually singing about peace, singing about people coming together to unite. You'll get to see the music, you'll get to see the colors, you'll get to see the different uniforms. Stick around, today is day one, and we still have more days to come.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Now, one of the best stories told by far is the story of Karamoja, and it's that series I always enjoy from GMU Tourism Express. Welcome back from that segment with Zakia Lucky. Time for GMU Business. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and we are starting off with a new dawn that has broken in Uganda, with several bold steps in mineral development in the form of refineries, industries, mining exploration, and improved regulation. Now, the forthcoming groundbreaking ceremony of the Devki Steel plant in Tororo district is a bold step of East Africa's industrial future and a statement of the country's commitment to value addition, industrialization, and national prosperity. Uganda is richly endowed with minerals, from the gold fields of Busia and Karamoja to the tin deposits of southwestern Uganda, and vast reserves of iron ore in the districts of Rubanda, Kanungu, Tororo, and Manafwa, among others. President Museveni has consistently championed one principle: Uganda must not export raw materials. The Devki multi-million-dollar steel plant is a bold step toward harnessing Uganda's 300 million metric tons of iron ore. It also exemplifies Uganda's vision of transforming mineral resources into finished products that support infrastructure, industry, and livelihoods. The Mining and Minerals Act 2022 ensures that Uganda's mineral wealth is harnessed responsibly, transparently, and in line with global standards. Now, moving on, at a time when foreign aid and external support are dwindling, Ugandans must step up to fill in the gap and sustain social and economic development. This is according to Grace Mulisa, the Managing Director, EcoBank Uganda. Meanwhile, Brighter Monday Uganda is set to take its Uganda Career Fair Eastern Region to the Islamic University Mbale campus later this week. EcoBank Uganda staff marked EcoBank Day at Angels Center in Wakiso, a facility that supports children with special needs. The center received a donation of 25 rugged tablets to support inclusive learning, CIP seats, foodstuff, among others. The CSR initiative by the bank comes at a time when resilience on foreign aid has become increasingly unsustainable for many developing countries, including Uganda. This support aims to empower children with special needs, explore technology, learn and grow in their own unique ways. Brighter Monday Uganda will this week take its career fair to the Eastern region with the goal of bridging the gap between highly skilled job seekers and potential employers. The fair is expected to attract over 5,000 job seekers from across the East African region and neighboring areas, making it a critical hub for talent acquisition. Well, that's it for GMU business, but we do also have to look at the forex rates as of yesterday, the 13th of October 2025, and the day opened with the dollar buying at 3,420.59 and selling at 3,430.59, and by midday it was at 3,420.36. That's a drop there, and selling at 3,430.36, and it closed in at a slight increase of 3,424.68 and selling at 3,434.68, which is the same. Now, the British pound was buying at 4,572.63 and selling at 4,585.98, and the euro was buying at a decline of 3,978.10 and selling at 3,989.72. The Kenyan shilling was buying at 26.50 and selling at 26.58, and the Tanzanian shilling maintains its drop of 1.39, and selling at 1.40. And the South African rand was buying at 197.41 and selling at 197.99. And that brings us to the end of JMU Business. But up next is the agenda. And we are looking at the gains in the mineral sector of Uganda. This should pique your interest. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should save and be a part of the conversation. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight? Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Juko. Yo. What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here. In the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's what you feel in the gentle caress of tropical wind from the mountaintops. And the glow in your heart from a warm neighborly invite. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking to the taste of food that takes you on a journey. In the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion.
But not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth.
The argument that the General Court Martial is responsible for peace and stability is without basis, either in law or in fact.
We have been told how Napoleon was a great orator. Now, Napoleon cannot help me get food. They told me combine harvest in Saskatchewan. I don't know where Saskatchewan is. This is a geographer we taught. Instead of teaching me how to preserve Mabera forest, they're teaching me about Rhineland. This is a problem we got. We cannot run away from it.
Right now, you hear very disgusting stories of members of parliament. Instead of discussing the details of loans, they ask for their cuts.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. Time for the agenda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and today we are looking at matters energy and minerals. Well, that is one conversation that excites quite a number of Ugandans, and I know this would excite you. So save that number, 0709-602-592. Now, we are looking at, first and foremost, we do have Dr. Litho Patricia. She is the Assistant Commissioner Communications in the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, and we are showcasing the gains of the mining sector, but of course not just the mining sector, but at the broader perspective of this whole conversation. That's why we have her to speak into this matter and have a conversation with us, give us an update, the gains, and maybe even the losses and what has been learnt at that. Once again, 0709-602-592. Now, this gives us an opportunity to just look into the ability of exploring, the strategic and the technical as well as public perspective of the mining sector in Uganda. Once again with me is Dr. Litho Patricia. Good morning, Dr. Litho.
Good morning. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. I will say your name is so unique.
Ah, it's so Ugandan. Some people think it's not Ugandan.
Indeed, for a minute I thought it was South African.
The Luos will know what it means, Litho.
Yes.
Yes.
Very beautiful name.
Good, thank you.
But thank you for making time and visiting us to have this conversation. And we'll start off with matters oil.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Oil is, everyone is excited, although for some it's not exactly the assurance that Uganda will start selling oil by maybe mid-2026, as reports indeed have confirmed. But is it true? Will it happen? You know how Uganda, we are looking
2026, yes, by July we expect to see that first oil. But I would like to encourage Ugandans to look at the progress in the oil and sector in a broader way.
Let's start from there.
Yes, let's look at it in a broader way.
Right.
Because we've got so much we have done to develop the oil and gas sector in Uganda. Apart from the oil discoveries and beginning to invest in those areas, we set up companies like Uganda National Oil Company that now is the business arm of government. Directly importing those petroleum products and then redistributing them, and that can be seen in the pump prices, the difference they are making. Beyond that, if we look at the development, for instance, in the Albertine region, just look at the infrastructure development that has emanated from these efforts that Uganda has made. The roads have improved, social services have improved, and then other exciting developments, the most recent one being the Hoima Stadium. It's a site, it's a beautiful site. We hope that we can take UBC one of these days to see those developments.
Right.
And this development comes with job opportunities. We also have the airport. We also have just the resettlement of people that sometimes are looked at negatively, but we look at the difference we've made in kind of the houses we've built, the schools, the hospitals. We've even gone as far as addressing, religious concerns, rebuilding churches and things like that. But if you just look at the local content that people are worried about, a lot of Ugandans, capacity have been built. A lot of people have been trained in the oil and gas sector, right from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, purely run by Ugandans, and must I emphasize both women and men. As you know, the energy sector, our top women, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, Honorable Nankabirwa. We have Honorable Nyamutoro, State Minister overseeing mineral development, and of course our technical head, the Permanent Secretary, Engineer Irene Batebe, who is an expert on the oil and gas sector.
Yes.
So we're in good hands, and we have so many technical people, both male and female. Then we have people working directly at the sites. We have Petroleum Authority of Uganda, which is our regulatory arm, ensuring that we're doing the right thing, ensuring that we are promoting those components that we seek to promote. We have Uganda National Oil Company that is promoting the business arm of government. Then we have other players like Total Energies, like CNOC. Then we have ECOP that brings all these players together, the pipeline that we are building from Uganda into Tanzania to the Tanga. So with that comes employment. With that comes a lot of skill set development. And I think we're making good progress, and we are beginning to feel the difference. I hope the rest of us are feeling. But also, you see, the ECOP is not stopping in that part of the country, in Hoima, Bolisa, but we also see that some of the storage tanks are coming way back into Mpiji. We also have storage tanks in Jinja. So you see, there are so many points at which we create opportunities for employment, but also to develop the business around there. Because the more people you have in an area, the more aspects of social services develop, the more income comes into the area. So there's a general good spread all over.
Right. And
Yes.
thank you for that overview. We'll definitely come back to the oil, but I don't know if this question will actually encompass everything in under the docket of energy and mineral development. And this is in regards to the strategy. What strategy has the ministry put in place to revamp the whole sector for Uganda's growth mining sector in the recent years? Take us through that process.
The mining sector, if we look at the NDP4, we have two programs that we focus on as Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. We've got the sustainable energy that takes care of electricity generation, transmission, distribution, and then we have what we call the extractives. Now, in the extractives, we have the oil and gas, and then we have the minerals. So if you look at minerals development, we have improved our legislation, the regulatory environment has been improved, and you can see we've made several efforts to add value. The president is often emphasizing the issue of value addition. And I recall some years back when he actually put a ban on exporting raw materials like iron ore. There was an uproar from people mining, but I think slowly and slowly we are beginning to appreciate. Let me give you the latest example. This Saturday, the 18th of October, 2025,
right.
we are groundbreaking the Devki Mega Steel Project. It is going to be the biggest. We've been assured it's going to be the biggest steel factory in East Africa by the Devki Group. That's the same group that owns, like for instance, Simba Cement. That's all benefiting from the mineral subsector. And we shall have guests, very, very high-level guests from the East Africa, from the neighboring Kenya. We expect at the very highest level to be graced by His Excellency, and from the neighboring Rwanda. But that also shows you the network that is going to happen. And one of the beautiful things about this project is that it cross-cuts the country. We have mineral ore that we are picking from Kabale, Rwanda, in western Uganda, and coming all the way to Tororo, which is nearer the border. We also have, through works, Uganda Railways is going to build a rail track that should help us in exporting these heavy products once they are made. And there are so many products you can get of iron ore. Steel is the most commonly known, but you know there are many things, nails and things like that, that we hope. Of course, the jobs that will come with this, not just for the hosting district in Tororo, but also the districts of Rwanda and Kabale. Already now people are employed around the mines, the transportation, transporting these products. We hope all that will be beefed up. So for Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, this is one of the answers to the value addition that the President has been talking about, that if we process everything within the country, we gain a lot more, not just jobs, but you know, every time minerals are mined in that raw material, there's normally more than one mineral in there. So we were always losing. So you think someone is taking out iron ore, but in there they're embedded other minerals. You think someone is taking out unprocessed gold, but within there are other minerals that are hidden. So we've benefited from that. But also last year, the President launched yet another project. He commissioned a tin smelting factory in Ruti in Mbarara. So you see, we already have that value addition, where now we are able to export processed tin. Then we've got over 10 gold smelting factories in Uganda today. I'll just mention two, of course, the biggest being the Wagagai gold mining project that was also launched in August by the President in Busia. So we also have the Euro Gold that is somewhere in Wandegea, and many others that are coming up. But in relation to gold and other minerals, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development also promotes other minerals. For instance, now we have several cement factories in the country, not just the traditional Hima that we knew of. We have Simba, we have Kampala. Tororo is also one of the older ones, but also when you go to Moroto, we're also setting up others. Moroto actually has quite a number of industries that has come up. The marble ones, they're making tiles and things like that. If you go to northern Uganda, we've also just concluded an aerial survey in the Karamoja and Lamu areas of the country that has revealed immense mineral currencies around these parts of the country. So really, minerals is the area to look at. Minerals is the place to focus on. I think we could benefit from those areas, and we need to pay attention to that. But I think the best news about mineral development in Uganda is that we are starting what we are calling mineral markets. You know, the mineral sector has been a bit elusive, sort of closed off. Many people wonder what is happening. You know, you just hear rumors about minerals, about people selling fake gold, about people selling, I don't know, fake mercury and things like that. But now the government is going to set up what we call mineral markets around the country. And in these mineral markets, basically we'll have all the players involved in the supply chain. So let's look at gold as an example. You, someone who is trying to sell gold, you'll bring gold to the market. There will be a buyer to get rid of those middlemen. There will be a buyer. Of course, people fear if you say there will be URA there, there will be security there, but it's for their own good. We'll even have the banking sector there. So you see, in one room, if you enter like a market, we'll have the different products showcased. You sell, and then the buyer also comes to buy. And for me, part of that beauty is that the country has got a lot of embarrassments out of investors coming or potential buyers of minerals. You hear about someone who has been fleeced at a hotel lobby, or someone who has been murdered. He had a lot of money, he was buying gold, it turned out it was fake gold, and then we can't trace the people, or a few people are arrested here and there. It has been so unclear. So sometimes maybe people have bought genuine gold, sometimes it has been fake, but you see the whole country gets embarrassed because the marketing process, the supply chain of these minerals has never been regularized. So now government has come in more aggressively to streamline and clean up so that not just the government benefits, the people also benefit, but also our potential investors and buyers don't get fleeced, because then there's an international embarrassment.
Indeed, I do agree with you. And now that you say that, it reminds me of you know, when we have investors, and if you talk about the markets, you can't avoid the question of IFFs, that is the illicit financial flows, especially when it comes to investors. When it comes, we talk of things like tax evasion, corruption, money laundering, and it's common in this particular sector. Now, because we're talking of investors and money markets, how exactly will government look into this, or study it, or scout it to make sure that this issue of illicit financial flows is reduced and monies are maintained to Ugandans? At the end of the day, if profits are made, they are profits that stay in Uganda. Ultimately, if we have investors coming in and out, are they investors from international organizations that will take back the monies back to their countries, or at least a great deal of the money will still stay to market, rather to serve Ugandans? How is this exactly being dealt with?
We have local and international investors that must be appreciated. But let me start from the very basic, the very raw one. We have what we call artisanal and small-scale miners, the rudimentary miners that we've known, I think, most commonly. And that is part of where a lot of people have been cheated. A lot of the illicit processes have been happening because of, you know, the elusive way they're doing things. So we have come in to license, regulate. We're encouraging artisanal miners to register. So we have a countrywide process where we literally come with our equipment, you know, the way you do your national ID. So we are doing that with artisanal miners. We'll camp maybe in Kasanda. Kasanda is known, for instance, for gold, but there could be other things. So we register you, we encourage them to form association of small-scale and artisanal miners. So this is a countrywide process that will clean up, but also, you know, protect them from exploitation. Because the middlemen were buying from them at a very low cost and selling very highly. So that is one of the things we are doing, to protect the process, to regulate the process, so that even when you commit a crime in that food chain, you're accountable. Yes, and you can be brought to rest.
And what I hear you say in there is encouraging the cooperative movement.
Yes, yes, yes. And you know, before, even when you arrested people, we didn't have proper laws that could, you know, make them accountable, that could make them punishable. Now we have that. Also, we have processes where we give royalties. Talking about money, how do we give back to Ugandans? As we started with the oil and gas in Albertine, what has happened to that part of the country? Would like to benefit in the same way from the mineral subsector. So you find that districts or host communities, there's a percentage of royalties we give back. We give back to the community. There's always the project affected persons, where they'll be compensated for the land, and the district is given back a certain percentage of what we get off their districts. But also creating the mineral markets and those regularized processes also protects. There's also a tax they have to pay. Sometimes, of course, to encourage investors, they'll get a tax holiday for a certain time, but their taxes they have to pay. But it's not only at minerals. Let me give you an example of Wagagai. The amount of electricity they need to process, to smelt. If you check with our utility company, they'll tell you maybe in a month, the bill from Wagagai alone could go over $1 billion, even from the cement factories. So you see, they are also supporting other sectors because of the amount of energy they need, the amount of water they need, the amount of other materials they need in addition to the jobs they are creating. And sometimes there are concerns of how many locals are there, how many international people are there. It all comes down to what skills do we have. That's why we build capacity. We deliberately have a local content policy where we build our own capacity. So yes, initially on some very technical areas you might find maybe we don't have a Ugandan who can do that, but people going back to school even at university level, at master's level, and specializing and coming to give back to the industry. We also have a regularized licensing process, which is online to minimize those processes. You know, sometimes the insinuations that, oh, the officers at Ministry of Energy are part of the racket and things like that, we've eliminated that. The licensing processes is online. We have a CADASA or an online portal where you go to, if you go to the Ministry of Energy website, you'll find a link to the online portal where you click in and the whole process is there. And if you comply to everything we're asking for, you should be able to get your license in a very short time.
Right.
But sometimes you find that, you know, people have gaps. It will be sent back because this is missing, the other is missing, and then people say it takes too long. Have you read what we're asking for? Have you complied with what we're asking for? Have you uploaded all the necessary documents? Then the license is given, and the license is signed off by the minister at the very top level. So, you know, the technical people have their input, we check everything that needs to be checked, and then you get a license.
Right.
Yes.
0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should be able to engage and be a part of this conversation. We are showcasing the gains of the mining sector in Uganda, but not just the mining sector, the whole picture, as the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. In studio with me is Dr. Little Patricia, who is the Assistant Commissioner Communication. Make sure that you have a question. I know you have a question, so make sure that you share it just before the show ends so that we are able to respond effectively. Now, Doctor, let's look at employment. Indeed, you did share the employment opportunities that are there, especially for the elites. Are there employment opportunities for those that are probably in the minor group of Ugandans, still with the oil, the minerals, the whole sector?
The whole sector.
Yes.
Yes, the whole sector is actually a major employer in this country. And like you said, it's not elitist. I know when people hear about engineers and things like that, they think it's not just about engineers. First of all, it's a technical field, but there are people like me who offer support services. So people outside the mainstream engineering, you know, the whole line of engineering, there's electrical, there's civil, there's oil and gas, and so on and so forth, can be employed in communication. We need legal people, we need accountants, we need human resource, you know, we need health and safety. Of course, how can I forget to talk about the environment concerns? And I think we will maybe talk a bit about that in a bit. So you see, we have that whole line of people. But if you, let's start with the energy sector. We employ technicians. When we are constructing lines, we need people to carry the poles, for instance. We need someone to transport the poles. We need someone to supply food, to cook food, to sweep, you know. So everybody, every kind of job is available in this sector. When you come to oil and gas, the same thing. We have the miners, we have the transporters, we have the security guy, we have the IT person, we have the engineers, we have the health and safety person. So we are able to employ every rank of profession, literally, in this country. When you look at mining, of course, we talked about the artisanal mining. Obviously, that's already employment and a source of income in the oil and gas. So I told you we are deliberately promoting Bubu. We are deliberately going by the local content. So we have officers in charge of that. What do we mean by local content? Even it makes sure that products from Uganda are utilized. Our businesses in Uganda are supported in terms of where we source our raw materials and equipment. But it also means that we are employing Ugandans into these spaces to offer service. Therefore, they support all those that are attached to them. So there's a source of income. We need health services. So we have all these health centers that come up. in these areas to offer service, you know, when people get ill. We have these camps, so you know, it's easy to catch disease and things, but anybody is culpable to catching a disease at one point or the other.
Right.
So we have that as well. We work with local government. But also if you look at the structure of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, how it started several years ago, we've expanded, we've restructured, because we realize to deliver on oil and gas, we need this kind of professionals, you know? So those opportunities have been opened up. To promote the mining sector, we need this kind of professionals. Another component is that there's a business arm that has come off the regulation of the mining sector. So now we have the Uganda National Mining Company, just like the way we have the Uganda National Oil Company. So one of the first things they've done is go back and revamp Kilembe mines. We know that Kilembe had closed off for several years. Right. One of our biggest copper mining and sources in Uganda, in Kasese. So now we are trying to revamp that with the Sarai group of companies. So UNMC is the business arm of government that is promoting that. But for every mining investment that we are going to have in the country, UNMC will represent the government and have a percentage in there to ensure that also government interest is taken care of, and government of Uganda is actually having income of this. So of course, this is a new company that was launched earlier this year, but already it's employing quite a number of people. We have people in the board, we have management, and so on and so forth. So we are making progress in that process. But we also work with the Uganda Chamber of Energy and Minerals. And this mostly works with the private sector and investors to bring them on board and basically support them in ensuring that basically we harness this area, promoting socio-economic development. Yes, I know that's a commonly thrown statement, but those specifics that I've given examples too.
Right.
Yes.
Very, very interesting at that. Now, Phillips from Karamoja says, Karamoja is endowed with vast mineral deposits, wildlife as a natural resource, but leadership in the country is taking a different angle in managing it. Government does not want to see Karamoja viewed positively. What could be a problem? For us in the region, factories related to minerals here must be constructed to avoid transporting raw materials away, which even spoils roads. We need warehouses here for industry products like tiles, clinker, cement for local people to buy in the region. Employment should also prioritize the locals on lower labor. What do you say about this, Doctor?
Wow. There's a lot of connotation there that I would like maybe to offer some clarity on.
Please.
There are always sentiments about Karamoja, but even before this government came on board, Karamoja was one of those areas that seemed abandoned, or mostly because they embraced their cultural way of living. And so because of that, you know, it was a place hard to access. A few years ago, I'll start, you know, some of those insinuations. We had a member of staff from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, and I think we actually lost about 4 to 5 people who were just doing their routine work of doing surveys and things like that in Karamoja, and they were shot at. Now, who wouldn't fear to be in Karamoja when you look at the security concerns? But despite that, there have been efforts by government to make sure that Karamoja is accessible.
Right.
Yes, and maybe some mistakes would have been made, like for instance, when that incident happened. So sometimes there's a misunderstanding. You see, if you come from Karamoja, that is your home area, you know your way around, you know how to access, you know how to speak the language. Now, when you have non-ethnic people coming to that area, maybe sometimes we go about things the wrong way and we stand to be corrected. And so this government has gone ahead to invest in Karamoja. They started by improving the roads. Actually, before improving the roads, there was the rural electrification program to make sure Karamoja also has electricity. First, they provided electricity using generators in the Moroto area. And then through the rural electrification program, we came in and extended the grid, not just to Moroto, but to Kotido, to Kabong, to Abim, those areas of Karamoja, to make sure they're also benefiting. And we are talking about just this government. But you know, the other day we were just celebrating independence. How long has Uganda been independent and been around? How many governments have been around? So I think it's a very unfair statement because efforts have been made. Now, beyond the distribution line, we also have the transmission line, a dedicated transmission line that goes to Moroto.
Right.
It comes from Soroti. Is that neglecting Karamoja? Then we have a ministry dedicated to Karamoja. You know, Karamoja and Luwero, I think those are the only two areas in Uganda that have dedicated ministries. What does that tell you? That we are paying special attention to this part of the country. And then we have industries that have been set up. The tile industry that did not exist before is in Karamoja. We have cement factories that did not exist before that have been set in Karamoja. We have substations that have been set up in Moroto. Moroto particularly has had a lot going. There's also deliberate support of the tourism sector in Karamoja. So you see, maybe we are not moving fast enough, but there are efforts to work with the Karamoja region, and we actually do listen, you know, to what the people from this area need. So sometimes those sentiments are a bit unfair because actually there's evidence that something needs to be done. But what more do we need? I think we need a more constructive feedback where like, okay, you've done this, but you could do better. Now about not transporting, government is starting a project or has been on a project where we're trying to acquire land to set up way bridges.
Right.
So that all the minerals that come off Karamoja are weighed so that the right taxes is charged.
Right. Now, Doctor, allow me just pause it right there because I'd want for you to exhaust this in its detail. And we do, obviously, as the doctor had mentioned, that we do have DevKey that are breaking ground on Saturday, the 18th of October, where we do expect President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, His Excellency William Ruto, and His Excellency Paul Kagame to attend this event of DevKey to groundbreak mega steel plant in Tororo district. Now, we do have footage that is leading to that particular event. Let's have a look, and then we'll be right back with this conversation.
Uganda is richly endowed with minerals, from the gold fields of Busia and Karamoja to the tin deposits of southwestern Uganda and vast reserves of iron ore in the districts of Rwanda, Kabale, Chisoro, Kanungu, Tororo and Manafwa. Our land is blessed with treasures beneath the soil. A new dawn breaks in Uganda with several bold steps in mineral development in the form of refineries, industries and mining exploration and improved regulations, a statement of the country's commitment to value addition, industrialization and national prosperity. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has consistently championed one principle: Uganda must not export raw materials. Instead, we must process them here, creating jobs, industries, and opportunities for our people.
Donating our money to the outsiders.
Yes.
So this is what we need to resolve. How can Africa get out of poverty with such squandering all resources? You are getting less money. You can't use that material in other industries. You are losing jobs.
When minerals are processed at home, Ugandans capture the true value. This is the path to our economic independence. The mineral-related projects are bold steps toward harnessing Uganda's 300 million metric tons of iron ore. It exemplifies our vision of transforming mineral resources into finished products that support infrastructure, industry, and livelihoods.
Prosperity for all. We want to see the mineral endowment translated into that. Otherwise, we will not be worth existing. I am happy that we are going to see exports grow and that we shall reduce the import bill, the importation of steel, the importation of fertilizers that we have been incurring. all that will minimize.
So this is the future that we are building. A future where Ugandans capture greater value from their resources. A future where we can be able to account to the citizens the direct beneficiation that they are getting from their natural resources. Government cannot achieve this futuristic vision alone. Success requires that the active participation of miners, dealers, traders, investors, women, the youth, and all other interested parties.
With over 27 varieties of minerals such as gold, copper, cobalt, graphite, phosphate, marble, and rare earth elements, Uganda's potential is immense.
So we have had compelling evidence that mining is now one of Uganda's leading export earners, surpassing even coffee, with gold exports alone standing at about $3.8 billion during 2024. But those targets must be surmounted.
Graphite for batteries, iron ore for steel, rare earth for electronics, vermiculite for paints and agriculture, copper and cobalt for power conductors, and green technologies. The Mining and Minerals Act 2022 ensures that this wealth is harnessed responsibly, transparently, and in line with global standards.
And indeed, that is the journey we are on. Our aspirations in that regard are aligned. So we are committed as the government to ensure that we strengthen policy and governance of the sector.
The establishment of structured mineral markets is a game changer. These markets will guarantee fair and transparent pricing, protect miners from exploitation, and provide legitimacy through government supervision.
The Uganda National Mining Company is going to implement the vision of the country, the vision of the NRM government, the vision of His Excellency the President, to add value to its mineral resources.
Imagine gemstones not just mined, but cut, polished, and certified here in Uganda, fetching premium prices on the world stage. This is the Uganda we are building.
Last year, we commissioned the Woodcross tin smelting facility in Mbarara. Last month, the President commissioned the Wagagai gold mining project, and now we are here groundbreaking for the Devki mega steel facility. It is claimed it's going to be the biggest in East Africa, and with that comes a lot of benefits: employment, infrastructure improvement. Ministry of Works through Uganda Railways is actually going to do a connection rail track.
We already have engaged consultants, and the study is going on. So we will have a railway sliding inside the Tororo plant to distribute all our steel products, whether it is to do with Bale, to do with Kampala, or anywhere in the country.
And we have to make sure that, yes, everything is put in place, because most of the cargo will be moving by rail from Kenya as imports, and also as raw materials, and also as final products.
This groundbreaking is more than a mere mineral products. They are a symbol of Uganda's bold commitment to capture greater value from her resources through industrialization and prosperity for all Ugandans. Together, government, investors, miners, communities, women and youth, we are shaping a future where Uganda stands tall as an industrial powerhouse.
Welcome back from that. That event will be graced. We're looking forward to that event being graced by 3 heads of state in East Africa: His Excellency Kagame, His Excellency Kaguta Museveni, and His Excellency Ruto. That is Rwanda, Kenya, and Uganda. What an event. Definitely looking forward to the 18th of October, which is this Saturday, 2025. You are watching UBC TV, and this is Good Morning Uganda. And we are looking at the gains that have taken shape with the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development in the mining sector, but not just that. the whole ministry altogether and everything that entails it. And with me in studio is Dr. Litho Patricia, who is the Assistant Commissioner Communications at the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. 0709-602-592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be a part of the conversation. Doctor, before we went into that beautiful story that has just been told, we were looking into Karamoja, and you were still dissecting what Phillips from Karamoja, who said that first and foremost he was wondering why. Let me just reiterate what he shared. He said Karamoja is endowed with vast mineral deposits, wildlife as natural resources, but the leadership in the country is taking a different angle in managing it, and government does not want to see Karamoja viewed positively. What could be the problem for us in the region? Factories related to minerals here must be constructed to avoid transporting raw materials away, which even spoils roads. We need cement. We need warehouses here for industry products like tiles, clinker, cement for local people to buy in the region. And employment should also prioritize the locals on lower labor. What do you say about this, Doctor? You had taken a journey to express what is actually on ground.
Yes. And maybe let me start by thanking UBC for that clip. You really capture the essence of the government's journey to adding value to minerals. And must I also add that I'm from Tororo, so I'm personally excited about this investment in Tororo.
Right.
And then my neighbors in Karamoja are not happy at all. And I was indicating that they're being a bit unfair because this government has done quite a bit in Karamoja. Can I say that even beyond these factories, these days, we even have accommodation, hotel accommodation. Hotel Africana set up in Moroto because of the potential that is growing in that area. So for that to happen, it is really a positive sign.
Right.
Karamoja has its own ministry, you know, and even when they created for Karamoja its own ministry, there were always sentiments about who is the minister of Karamoja, why the minister of Karamoja. They have no minister from Karamoja, who is the minister of Karamoja. Now the minister of Karamoja is Honorable Peter Lokeris. He's from Karamoja, he's from Nakapiripirit. So you see there are efforts being made. We listen and the government addresses, you know, and these are not statements just for the sake of it.
Right.
So we're talking about things that have been done to add value to Karamoja. At these factories, first of all, to say that there are no factories, there are factories in Karamoja. Particularly,
I think we've just seen one with the, of marble.
The marble.
Yes,
that white marble. Beautiful, beautiful product from Karamoja. Maybe the only thing is having the warehouses there. Yes, and but employing labor at a very local level. I've been to this factory myself, and there are local people employed there.
Right.
So you see, sometimes we just make statements, but I think the issue, the question should be how much more can government do for Karamoja? Because government has done stuff for Karamoja. But even away from Karamoja, how many Karamojongs do we have at high level in this government? There are several, you know. So really, I always find this statement unfair. For me, the question should be, what should we improve? So just to sum it up.
In other words,
just
what
to mention,
more can be done?
Yes, just to mention again, the tarmac roads in Kampala, I mean, compare it to the tarmac road from Soroti, Katakwi to Moroto. Really. Beautiful, beautiful road. And when you go around, that road goes around to Nakapiripirit, and they're doing that road to connect it to Siroko, Mbali. So really, something is being done to improve access to Karamoja as a place, because it hasn't been accessible in terms of the roads. But also it hasn't been accessible in terms of security. When people make these statements, do they think about the reality about the security in Karamoja? And me, the beauty about Karamoja is that as a young child, I lived in Karamoja. My father worked in Karamoja. I went to schools in Karamoja. From when I was in, I think, P3 to P5, I went to a school in Abim, a boarding school called Morolem. I also went to Kotido Primary School. I have lived in Karamoja as a young child. And from back then to today, there's been improvement in Karamoja. But in terms of security, even in recent times, we have so many cases where people at risk. So the disarmament process was trying to address that. And that's another sensitive area that we don't want to talk about.
Right.
But because of that, people, sectors like Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development has been able to do something in Karamoja. Ministry of Works has been able to do things in Karamoja. The factories we are talking about, the extension of electricity, not just the transmission line, but also the distribution line, and also the substation, and also the factories, both cement and marble, and there are many others coming up. So
Right.
something has been done, more needs to be done, and that is where we need the constructive conversation.
Right. Now, our time is really, really against us, and it's just so fast. But we cannot definitely leave without talking about UEDCL giving us light away from Umeme that was giving us Yaka. One thing for sure that the major change that has been noticed is the high level of load shedding. Never have we experienced load shedding in Uganda. Like, of course, back in the day, for many of us, we were young.
Yes,
we do not remember that. We don't remember much of it until now, where everyone is like, what? And of course, businesses are being affected by this rampant load shedding. Take us through. Is it so? First and foremost, let's start with, since we are looking at showcasing the gains.
Yes.
Is it a gain?
Yes, it is a gain.
All right, elaborate.
Okay, you see this baby of ours, UEDCL. First of all, UEDCL gave Umeme the concession. So the narrative has been twisted a bit. The narrative is really twisted. So ever since the big switch, people have felt there's more load shedding. But why is there more load shedding? UEDCL has connected ever since they took over 140,000 new connections. But we are just beginning to reinvest in the network. So obviously the substations are overwhelmed by this sudden surge of numbers. So you see people are like, Umeme was not connecting us. UEDCL came and found pending connections of Umeme, and it has swept most of them. What do I mean? It has connected these pending connections, most of them, apart from those connections from people who actually had no network serving them. You see, being next to an electricity line doesn't give you electricity. Are you next to a high voltage line, a medium voltage line? Do you have a transformer in that area serving you? So understanding those aspects. Now, one of the gains is that over 2,300 members of staff and counting who came off from Umeme were literally moved to UEDCL. People like me were complaining, I would have wanted to get a job at UEDCL because it's better paying, you know, than government pays me. Yes. UEDCL is government, but I'm giving you an example. Right. So you see, the public was closed out from applying for jobs to Umeme, and they say priority goes to former Umeme and UEDCL staff. Isn't that a plus, you know? But also we've come and explained why are we having challenges with our network. Apart from the overwhelming numbers and the overwhelming substations, we have excessive vandalism on our network. And it's us Ugandans vandalizing this network, you know? Someone asks for power and illegally he's connected, they cut a cable from your side and they come and connect me. So things like that disrupt the network, and we have to invest. We've been encouraged, and what ministry is doing is to go boo-boo, local content. So a lot of these contracts were given to local suppliers. We need so many transformers, we need so much cables, we need this. And they're struggling to meet these targets. So now we are negotiating with PPDA. Is it okay to maybe bring some transformers from China, from Turkey, you know, from India, wherever else we've been importing to bridge this gap, to manage this? So some money has been approved for UEDCL in the recent past to enable this happen. Last week, the minister had a press conference at Media Center. And she literally used this Luganda's thing of Tengerere Mwana Imi. Like, that is how we should look at UEDCL. It is a young child, but also there are some skeletons, some defects that were passed on to them, and we need to give them time to address this. One of the other things that is affecting the amount of electricity available to us is something we call power theft. People are illegally connecting themselves, and the minister even announced an amnesty. There's a campaign that UEDCL is running called Wetereze, which is a Luganda one. But I'm sure in other parts of the country they've translated this. Basically, Reflect, fix yourself. I don't know,
Yes,
direct
yes,
translation,
yes.
So what is happening is that we ask, if you know you're illegally connected, you come and regularize. So some of these illegal connections actually impact on the amount
One
of
would
power
wonder,
available.
weren't those illegal connections existing during the time Umeme was still manning?
Some of them were, some of them were not. Of course, in the wind of transition, people took advantage of that loop. But also, those illegal connections existed, and now we have legally connected several other people. So obviously, the amount of energy available, the capacity of the transformers, for instance, especially places like Bulindo, that General Kira area was a forested area. You find 4 or 5 houses, you know, beyond the Uganda Mata Shrine, there was really no development. But suddenly, everyone is moving that side. Factories are that side. Schools are that side. That consume a lot of electricity. People have their cottage industries, bakeries, grinding mills. These things consume a lot of power. And so because of that, the amount available is restricted, so we must load shed. Because if we don't load shed, you know, we could just destroy all the equipment. They will get overloaded and blow up, and then we have completely nothing.
Right.
Yeah, so we are fixing those, but also we are improving the infrastructure. All these new dams, for instance, Karuma, you know, it is there, but we need to evacuate that power. So we are working on all those things. So let's be patient. Within some time, we should be able to stabilize. Even when Umeme came on board, we had load shedding, and there was a journey. But also the last 3 years, once they were told that your concession will not be renewed, government itself, we stepped back on approving investments. Of course, it impacts on the network. So they were no longer reinvesting in the network, and this network is live. It's always working. Yes. So sometimes we've got to switch off sections to be able to serve you better, to work on you. So we are doing something about it. We apologize about the inconvenience. People saying they're losing businesses and things like that. We do apologize. And we are promoting alternative sources of power as we come and address this.
Right.
Yes.
Just one last one regarding electricity, and it's just to confirm to the general public, because somewhere as you're moving around, you know, in areas within, especially residential areas, you do find people dressed in electricity garb, like electricity men, but it's labeled Umeme, and you're thinking, what's this person doing here? Does it make sense? But also recently I noticed the Umeme X account, it was wishing Uganda a happy 63rd independence, and the comment section, whoever runs that account, oh my goodness. But just for clarity,
yes,
to make sure that every Ugandan at the level of being Ugandan, they know that Umeme is not operating anymore.
Umeme is not operating the network anymore. It is UEDCL. I know people say they struggle with this word, but the electricity company, it is a government company. UEDCL is running the network. I know in the first 2 months, we still had some outfits and cars labeled Umeme, but we don't have that anymore. It shouldn't be there anymore. So if someone comes to touch your network, comes to touch your transformer with the Umeme outfit, please know. And this is the community policing. I am requesting the people of Uganda to help us protect our network from vandalism and theft. If anybody, even from UEDCL, comes and just touches the network, the first thing, ask them to identify themselves. They have IDs. Our IDs have a barcode that we can verify. They should start with the LC1. They should go to the LC1 to give them consent to work in that village. Right. Let's be vigilant, because sometimes people come and carry away a whole transformer and claim to be UEDCL stuff. But also we know that Uganda being Uganda, we have Katwe, we have Kuruma Road, where we can just reprint these things. Are you sure? Me in this gown, I'm from UEDCL. So our people move in pickups and in motorbikes that are very well branded. Actually, one of the pluses that people make jokes about is that we are so visible, but the light is not lighting. But we are improving on the lighting, and we have proper identity. Let's embrace that.
I believe Mr. John and Kiza will definitely be here sometime again to speak deeper into this matter, as he represents UEDCL. But we are looking generally, showcasing the gains of the mining sector, but altogether the gains of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development in Uganda. And in studio to have this conversation with us is Dr. Litho Patricia, who is the Assistant Commissioner of Communications at the ministry. Now, somebody comes through, Andrew, and says the challenge is that the mineral sector is the challenge of middlemen. In Karamoja now, there is the biggest cement factory in Uganda. People come from elsewhere, buy the land, and sell it to investors. This benefits little the locals. And another person comes through and says, all right, good, I reported illegal connection in my area, but Umeme, brackets, UEDCL, has not responded to my report. Let's start off with Andrew, who talks about the challenge of middlemen in the mining sector.
Yes, and not just in Karamoja, in the whole country. As I've told you, measures we have put in place to try and get rid of these middlemen, because they are promoting illegal trade, they are promoting fake products, fake minerals. So by registering artisanal miners, by asking people to authentically get licensing, those procedures are made by tightening the law around mineral trading. And we have a campaign called Operation Zabu. We have a minerals police that we work with, and we visit different mining areas. And if you're mining illegally, we arrest these people and bring them to book. So yes, it is true, some of that. But what I liked about that statement at the beginning is the acknowledgement that there's one of the biggest cement factories in Karamoja. For me, that answers the first accusation. Right. That yes, we are doing something, we are doing something. Right. Then about the non-response of UEDCL to these comments, can we request that you share a reference number? Did you get a reference number? Maybe through UBC, if you sent a message, they can forward it to me and I forward it to my colleagues. I must acknowledge we might not be at 100%, but definitely over 80% in response to the issues. And sometimes we are very good at making noise on social media, and when we reach out to individuals, did you make a call? I hear people, you know those people never pick calls. Did you call?
And they didn't.
They didn't. Do you have a reference number? So even me as Minister of Energy, to come and intervene, to take my baby UEDCL to task, I need a reference number. Right. Now that comment doesn't talk about the area. So how do I find the place to address it? Even all these videos, my business is affected, what? Right. Which place is this so that we come and address the issue? We're not saying everything is perfect, but when you put forward a complaint, tell us the village, the sub-county. You see, that's how we work. We work in areas, in regions. We have names of places in Uganda. You can even say after that big tree on the left, we shall be there to address this issue.
Very well, thank you. So please do share the reference number details at least we'll be able to connect these details to the responsible personnel for you to be attended to. Now, Dr. Litho, thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
Our time is fast spent. What are your parting shots?
My parting shots is that it's an exciting time to be in Uganda because good things are still coming. The first oil is coming, the mineral markets are coming, the biggest steel factory is coming, we are cleaning up the energy sector, power is going to be stable. And like we like to allude to the Minister of Finance, colleagues, the light is going to light. Thank you.
Just like Kasaija did it.
Yes.
For now, thank you so much for watching the show. Good Morning Uganda comes to the end, but of course it does come back tomorrow. And Good Morning Uganda Extra is one that you should look forward to with Robert Chiravo Nyonyintono. Good morning. Have a blessed day.
Thanks.
Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't go low.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Every waking day is a reminder just how beautiful this, our land, truly is. The kind of beauty that you can only find here. In the lush green all around us and the wondrous sights within. It's what you feel in the gentle caress of tropical wind from the mountaintops. And the glow in your heart from a warm neighborly invite. It's in the distinct aroma of our cooking to the taste of food that takes you on a journey. In the sound of homecoming and the sound of Mother Earth. In the magnificence we find on our travels and the exciting moments we experience. Ours is the kind of beauty that comes in all things big and small. All we have to do is awaken our senses and truly enjoy what's uniquely ours. Explore Uganda, the pearl of Africa.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort, and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukoto Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
You see, I've been a painter for almost 4 decades, and I have found Global Paints to be very reliable. First, everyone knows we use Global Paint undercoat. Now, for the best results, I continue with Global Paints products. I go for silk vinyl when it comes to the interior. Then Global Matte for the ceiling, and when it comes to weatherproof, I go for Global Weather Coat Emulsion. With that one, the house will never peel. Now, there you have a sparkling, magical looking house. And then the client is very happy. He recommends me to another person who recommends me to another person who recommended me to come and do the advert.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
Taxation is a bit complicated,
And the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Two nations, one destination. The Consulate General of Uganda in Mombasa presents the 4th Uganda-Kenya Coast Tourism Conference and Exhibition, a celebration of the intermarriage of tourism between Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, and Kenya, the Pride of Africa. Discover Uganda's adventure, from gorilla trekking and whitewater rafting to Kenya's rich wildlife and world-famous beaches. Delegates from Uganda will enjoy an exclusive fam trip to Kenyan coast from the 22nd to the 26th of October. Even tee off at the golf tournament at Vipingo Ridge on the 25th October, followed by the conference on the 27th to the 28th of October at Ocean Beach Resort and Spa in Malindi. Register today on our website www.thetourismconference.org. Join us and be part of the future where Uganda meets Kenya and Africa shines brighter.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Two nations, one destination. The Consulate General of Uganda in Mombasa presents the 4th Uganda-Kenya Coast Tourism Conference and Exhibition, a celebration of the intermarriage of tourism between Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, and Kenya, the Pride of Africa. Discover Uganda's adventure, from gorilla trekking and whitewater rafting to Kenya's rich wildlife and world-famous beaches. Delegates from Uganda will enjoy an exclusive fam trip to Kenyan coast from the 22nd to the 26th of October. Even tee off at the golf tournament at Vipingo Ridge on the 25th October, followed by the conference on the 27th to the 28th of October at Ocean Beach Resort and Spa in Malindi. Register today on our website